Hi crafty friends, come hang out or body double while I organize and digitize my yarn stash. My stash is almost entirely secondhand at this point, and I've sourced my yarns from thrift stores and secondhand art supply stores. So for my organizational process, I went through all the yarns in my rainbow basket, decided which ones needed to be caked up on my yarn winder, and took photos of all of them and then uploaded them to Ribblr. I ended up using both Ribblr and Ravelry to create my digital stash, so I'll be comparing those later in the video. Ta-da! In the end, I cataloged 14 yarns. I'm so excited to have a digital stash that I can scroll through and be able to pick yarns for projects more easily. So I tried out both Ribblr and Ravelry to host my digital stash. These are just two different platform options, and I'm going to share my thoughts on comparing the two platforms as a newbie to the online fiber craft world, but a craft enthusiast. Specifically crochet I'm very into right now, but I'm also considering knit for the future. So yeah, here's the comparison. Ribblr has an app, Ravelry is only website based. In terms of digitizing your stash, Ravelry has a superior level of detail available, and Ribblr is very pretty to look at, but has less details. So Ribblr might be a good fit if you're more of a minimalist with your stash information. For me, it was a bit too little. On Ribblr, you can add one photograph at a time per yarn. There's also a notes field where you can add whatever details you want, and then a field for hashtags, and you can sort your collection by the hashtags. For me, I wanted some more structure to the fields. I wanted multiple fields where I could record different information, and that's exactly what Ravelry has. So Ravelry has fields where you can enter the price you paid for each yarn, where you bought it, when you bought it, the colorway, the color lot, and different aspects of the yarn, such as the weight, how many grams of it you have, and so on. Ravelry also has a pretty extensive database of yarns, which is really cool because you can search the name of your yarn and the company, and it will autofill a number of the fields, sometimes with information that you didn't already have. And it's also really handy to be able to sort through your stash that way. For example, if you wanted to make a project using worsted yarn or worsted wool or chunky yarn, you could sort through your yarns using those categories and find a good match for your project. Additionally, you can export your stash to a spreadsheet format, which is really fun if you're nerdy like me and like to play around with those figures. I'll briefly go over some additional features from each platform. My favorite thing about Ribblr are their digital patterns. They're super handy to use on your phone, and you can track your progress as you go by pressing on each line, which corresponds to a row, and it will cross out to figure out where you are. I also like that Ribblr is highly scrollable, it looks really pretty, and there's lots of fun free patterns to choose from. My favorite additional feature on Ravelry is the project queue, so you can gather projects that you have planned for the future, whether the pattern is on Ravelry or not, and the best part is that you can assign yarns from your stash to specific projects. The Ravelry Makes tab is also handy because you can catalog projects from patterns on or off of Ravelry, whereas on Ribblr you can only track patterns in your Makes tab if they're from Ribblr. In conclusion, I made a stash on both Ribblr and Ravelry. I found Ribblr to be very pretty, very scrollable, very handy with the e-patterns, but a bit too minimal for my taste. Ravelry, on the other hand, was well established, very meticulously detailed, and I will be going forward with Ravelry to expand my digital collection. Let me know in the comments if you've used either or both platforms, if you've digitized your stash or not, and your thoughts. Thanks for watching.